Well, good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. Really glad you could join me today out here in the vegetable garden. It's a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. It's mid-July now. So anyhow, I had a subscriber on YouTube by the name of Lori ask a really good question. And she writes here, question about Swiss chard. What would cause my leaves to have holes in them? Bugs or slugs? I don't see either on front or back of leaves. I appreciate the information. Thank you. You know, thankfully, in all my years of gardening, I really don't have a whole lot of problems with bugs and pests. You know, because I really encourage people to take preventive measures. You know, be proactive, not reactive. You know, like once you have your bug problem, then you put row covers on or you get out some type of bug spray and nasty chemicals for your garden, you know. And so to be proactive, you know, I always encourage people to use row covers over a lot of their vegetables, like their cabbage, their cauliflower, their broccoli, a lot of your kale, you know, your brassica family vegetables get the aphids, you know, or the cabbage worm. I do have a lot of Swiss chard in the garden, and I do get occasional holes in them. I grew some bok choy this spring and I was getting holes in the leaves, you know, but again, just let me really encourage you to think about taking proactive measures or preventive measures when it comes to especially aphids and these cabbage worms. The row covers work great. Well, anyhow, I think she mentioned bugs or slugs here in her question. And so she saw no evidence of bugs during the day chewing her leaves. And so from my experience, it would be the slugs. And what you need to do is just go out, you can get a flashlight and go out at your garden at nighttime. You know, those slugs are like stealth, you know, they come and creep in at nighttime. And so, you know, especially after a rainy day or something, they like the moisture. You could also put a board or two out in your garden, you know. They like to hide under things, you know, and so if you place a board around your plants, you know, they'll come and hide under the boards, and then you can just dispose of them. But from my experience, like this spring, I had to get a flashlight and go out in my garden and pull those slugs off your plants and then just dispose of them. But also, you know, when I get holes in my Swiss chard or in my potato, I have them right here in my potato patch area. These have a few holes in them, you know, but not enough that it's going to harm the plant. And it's the same way with my Swiss chard. You know, this is I encourage people to grow organically, not to use pesticides. So you're going to have some holes in your leaves, especially in the plants that aren't under the row covers. Now, under the plants under my row covers, you know, they just grow and thrive beautifully under there because you know, they don't have any type of pests or bugs chewing those leaves. And so I may get a few holes in the leaves here and there under the row covers, but most of the time they're protected from those garden pests. And so yeah, get your flashlight and go out at nighttime, and if you see some slugs out there, you may have to go out at different hours of the night too, maybe even later at night or early morning. Sometimes I'll come out and walk my patio out back around 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll see it, you know, a really big slug out there. I also leave purposely some leaves on the ground of my soil, you know, just they can feed on those. You know, I have so many Swiss chard leaves and greens in my garden, and I don't really mind them coming along and chewing some of my leaves. So anyhow, I hope that answers your questions. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. So hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me out here in the garden. Until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.